Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, on yesterday's live stream I went over about 20 to 23 or so items that are dense in protein and that are easily storable for long term. Now the reason that I went over this on the live stream yesterday is because we all know that proteins, especially the meat type of proteins, are becoming more expensive and could probably become harder to source in the future. So I wanted to go over some protein items that you can get today and store away for long term. That way, in case in the following months and or years to come, if those protein sources become unavailable or more difficult to source or a lot more expensive, you can already be prepared with those things and you can allow them to supplement what you already have and what you can get. Okay, so I'm going to go over that list again with you today. So the first thing is going to be eggs, either in the powder form or regular whole eggs. Powdered eggs are very easy to store and they last a very long time on the shelf if you purchase it from a third party that has already packaged it for you, and or if you package it yourself. Now whole eggs, the way that you would prep for that obviously is to make sure that you have some chickens, that you raise some egg-laying chickens, and also make sure that you rotate your chickens. That way, when the ones that get too old and are not laying anymore, you can have some fresh ones come in and take their place, as where the older ones can end up in your stew pot. Number two is going to be either home canned or store-bought canned meats. Now, my favorite way to store proteins is home canned meats, by pressure canning your own meats. However, it sometimes makes sense, just like you saw on my last video where I showed you that I purchased those 2 flats of beef in a can from Costco. Sometimes it makes sense for you to purchase the cans that are already pre-packaged for you because it's a lot cheaper. A quick example is those canned meats that I bought from Costco, the canned beef. Those were only $10 for a pack of 4 that had 3 pounds of meat in it. Now, for me to go out and buy the meat to do it myself is going to be a lot more expensive than that. So if you find a good deal like that, you definitely want to go with that. And it doesn't have to be just canned beef. It can be canned tuna, canned salmon, canned chicken, canned turkey. Any of the Keystone products that are out there, I recommend. The only one is the canned pork from Keystone. I've never had that, but I've had all the other products that they have, the canned chicken, canned turkey, canned beef, including the ground beef. All very good products. However, the canned beef that you find in the store should be just as good. As long as you store it in a location that is going to be temperature controlled, it's not going to get, let's say, below 50 degrees and not above 70. It should last you well beyond the best by date. In addition to that, freeze-dried meats are very good. Freeze-dried meats are excellent to store for long term for a couple of reasons, in my opinion. Number one, because they maintain about 98% of their nutrients in them. Not only do they maintain the protein and the fats that are in there, but they also maintain any nutrients that are within them. So freeze-dried meat's a great way to store for long term. In addition to that, they don't take that much room and they are very light. So they're a lot easier to store. The only downfall with that is that freeze-dried meats are very expensive. Unless you have your own freeze dryer and made that investment in a freeze dryer to go out and purchase from a third party like Mountain House, very expensive, but it's a very good protein to store for long term. Now, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, almonds. Almonds are a great source of protein, and I have had success in storing almonds for long term. 1 ounce of almond has about 6 grams of protein. That's only 1 gram shy of what an egg has. So almonds, in my opinion, are a powerhouse when it comes to storing protein for long term. Now, I've had almonds stored away for more than 5 years that I vacuum sealed, and they're still good. A lot of people say, well, you can't store nuts because they won't last that long because the oil in them will go rancid. Well, in order for the oil in them to go rancid, it needs oxygen. Right? The oil has to oxidize, and without oxygen, in my opinion, they're not going to go rancid. And like I said, through personal experience, I've had almonds put away for a long time. I opened the bag a few months ago, absolutely nothing wrong with it. So almonds, in my opinion, great way to store proteins for long term. When I researched this, ladies and gentlemen, I was in awe. Oatmeal. Oats. Oats have 11 grams of protein per cup. Now, you don't have to just eat oats like oatmeal. You can use oats to put into, let's say, your chili. If you're cooking a soup, you can put oats in there to add protein to it. But that's a lot of protein to be packing into 1 cup of oats. So oats is another one of those foods that you can pack away for long term. Put it away. Don't have to worry about it. You don't even have to rotate it. If you properly package it or purchase it from a third party that packaged it for you, oats should last you easily 25 to 30 years, as long as you store it properly. Powdered milk, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, powdered milk. If you all saw me do a review of the LDS powdered milk here a few months back, I'll go ahead and leave a card to that video up on the upper right hand corner. I'm not sure if it'll be here or here, but it'll be in the upper right hand corner. You can take a look at that video. The LDS powdered milk that I purchased comes with about 29 servings in one of those bags, and each serving has 10 grams of protein. So one of those small bags of powdered milk comes with 290 grams of protein. And ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Powdered milk pretty much lasts indefinite as long as you properly store it and make sure that you throw an oxygen absorber in there. Broccoli has 1 gram of protein per ounce. So if you grow broccoli in your garden, or if you put away broccoli in the form of a freeze-dried long-term food storage, 1 gram of protein per ounce. So broccoli, in my opinion, is a great way to store protein. And not only that, it also has other nutrients that are very good for you. Quinoa seeds, ladies and gentlemen. Quinoa seeds have 8 grams of protein per 1 cup of cooked seeds. Now, quinoa seeds are a very dry seed that can be very easily stored for long term, and you're getting 8 grams of protein per 1 cup of cooked seeds. In my opinion, that is a great way to store protein as well. Now, for those of you that want to get a very good serving of protein with an easy meal, take a look at Emergency Essentials or Nutrient Survival. They have protein drinks that are meal replacement drinks, and these drinks come with a good amount of protein. Usually one of these drinks, one serving, is about 25 to 30 grams of protein, and they are packaged for long-term storage as well. So protein drinks that have a long-term storage capacity would do good. Now, I've tried putting away protein drinks that I bought at the store, you know, like a GNC or something like that. Didn't work out very well for me. I don't know what it is that they do to them when they put them away from the third-party long-term food storage companies, but I didn't have very good luck doing my own by buying it in bulk and then packaging it myself. So if you want to get some protein drinks from Emergency Essentials or from Nutrient Survival, those are very good protein drinks. And the reason I'm mentioning either or is because I've tried some from each of those two brands, and both of them are very good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to the item that every prepper has, legumes. All right. Now, lentils have 18 grams of protein, 18 grams for every cup of cooked lentils, not dry, but cooked lentils. Now, that, in my opinion, is awesome. And lentils, just like any other legume that's dry, very easy to store for long term. Now, your other regular beans, like your black beans, pinto beans, kidney beans, all of those have roughly 15 grams of protein per cup. Peas are not a bad source of protein either. Peas have 8.5 grams of protein per cup. Now, the powerhouse of protein in the legume family, and I think this is a legume, is chickpeas. Chickpeas, or garbanzo beans, however you want to call them, have 41 grams of protein per cup. That is a powerhouse in the protein department, ladies and gentlemen. So garbanzo beans is one of those things that you definitely want to store. Now, my favorite legume is gandules or pigeon peas. Doesn't quite have as much protein as chickpeas, but they also have about 15 grams of protein per cup. Another thing, ladies and gentlemen, is pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds, I was amazed, has 9 grams of protein per ounce, even more so than almonds. So pumpkin seeds, 9 grams of protein per ounce. Not only can you store them very easily, but you can grow pumpkins, and even if you weren't going to eat the meat or the fruit of the pumpkin, you can always eat the seeds and get the protein out of them. One of my favorite vegetables, ladies and gentlemen, is Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts come with about 4 grams of protein per cup. Not that much protein, but it does have a lot of other nutrients in them that are good for you. Peanuts, ladies and gentlemen, another legume. Peanuts is a legume. I didn't know that. That's what happens when you do a little bit of research, right? Peanuts have about 7 grams of protein per ounce, as does peanut butter. Peanut butter, for every 2 tablespoons of peanut butter that you have, has about 7 grams of protein per 2 tablespoons, whereas peanuts have about 7 grams of protein per ounce. Now, people tell me about storing peanut butter. I've heard it several times that storing peanut butter long term is no good because the oil in it goes rancid. In my experience, as long as that seal on that peanut butter container is still sealed and still good, that peanut butter will last you a long time. Right now, we're working off of a jar of peanut butter that is from 2018. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. And pasta, ladies and gentlemen, pasta, for every 2-ounce serving, pasta has 7 grams of protein. I mean, look at all of these things that have a good amount of protein in them that can be stored for long term. I mean, I think this is a very important list for you to look over and maybe add some of your own. In the comments under the description of this video, ladies and gentlemen, if we missed anything on here that maybe you know about, go ahead and leave it in a comment so that we can add it to this list. One thing that a lot of people don't think has protein, although not a whole bunch, but it does, white rice. White rice has 4 grams of protein per cooked cup. So 1 cup of cooked white rice has 4 grams of protein. Now, a couple of things that don't have a whole bunch of protein but are some of my favorite vegetables are corn and green beans. Now, I'm not sure if corn is a vegetable or a fruit. You guys let me know. But corn, for 1 cup of corn, sweet corn, there's about 5 grams of protein, which is not bad. And for green beans, only 2 grams of protein per cup of green beans. Not that much, but it's nice to know how much it has. That way you can calculate it into your meal plan if you are watching how much protein you're expending at a certain time. All right? So ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That's the list that we came up with and we discussed during our live stream. Like I said, if there's anything here that we may have missed, then go ahead and chime in the comments below. I know that during the live stream, someone said that rabbits is a great source of protein and they are very easy to raise and rotate, and their pellets, their poop, is great fertilizer. And not only that, they don't have that big of a lead time, meaning that from the time that they're born to the time that you can harvest them, it's not that long. I think it's like 8 or 10 weeks, something like that, before you can actually harvest the meat off of a rabbit, and it's easy to raise them. And quail, ladies and gentlemen, quail are very easy to raise, they're very easy to maintain, and it only takes about 4 to 6 weeks, I believe, before they grow to maturity, and then you can harvest the meat. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got something out of this. Like I said, all of this was covered during the live stream, but I thought that I would go ahead and re-record this short segment because we were having some connectivity issues during the live stream, and a lot of the picture during the live stream was a little blurred and some of the sound went in and out, something that I do have to work on. So thank you very much, by the way, to everyone that joined the live stream yesterday. We had a great time, so thank you for being there. Other than that, I do hope that you got something out of this, and like I said, if I missed anything on this list, please leave it in the comments down below. That way we can all learn from each other. Having said that, thank you very much for joining in today. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out. God bless.